Welcome to the No Clue Podcast. I'm one of your hosts. I'm Tyler.
Mike.
And we are recording this Sunday night right after the complete beatdown of the second round in the West of the Thunder and Denver Nuggets. So OKC moves on. Shea SGA goes for 35. Jalen Williams has the best game of the series. And Caruso basically straps Jokic for 3/4 of the game.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about Denver in this game. What did you see? What went wrong, and when did it go wrong?
They just couldn't sustain the energy.
Yeah.
It was like executing plays, running stuff, like trying to get open, working hard to get baskets.
Yeah.
They ran out of gas like right away almost.
Yeah. For a team that normally is like a 6-man rotation team, it looks like OKC. It looked like they played against two full different teams today. Like it looked like they really played against 10 guys. Like it was 5 versus 10.
Yeah.
OKC was throwing guys out there, and all of them had energy, and all of them were making contributions. Westbrook came in this game super flat. Watson and Strawther came in and really did nothing. No positive impacts, at least.
Yeah.
And everyone who came in for OKC immediately affected the game. Case and Wallace came in, immediately played really good D, had some steals, dunked on Jokic. Caruso came in immediately, was hitting, getting to his spots, getting to the basket, leaking out on breaks. Joe didn't play as much as I kind of thought he would. He didn't play really till garbage time. But Wiggins came in and was aggressive. He missed a lot of shots, but he was getting to open spots, and he was letting them fly. The energy just was not there. And then down low, the offensive rebounding for OKC was, they started the game out. I think Hartenstein had 2 tap dunks in the first quarter.
Yeah.
And then Chet had a couple tap outs. So they were just going early, making sure they got second opportunities, making sure they were strapping up on defense, getting out on breaks, taking advantage of turnovers. Yeah, they did all the right things.
I'll be honest, the depth is what was the difference.
Yeah.
And this is the second year in a row that Denver has a close battle series where in all the losses they get run off the court.
Yeah.
Like, you can't play with a 6-man rotation and expect to win 12, 16 playoff games.
Yeah.
And this is the second year they're getting taught that lesson.
Yeah. Yep. And I think some of the teams that do it kind of spoil teams in the other teams in the league, like Boston, but their 6-man rotation is different from your 6-man rotation in Denver. Like, it's completely different. The Knicks, their 6-man rotation is different because their 6 men all have clear roles and clear positions. Denver is not like that. It's not very clear. Plus, they all play really good defense. Most of these other teams that do 6-man rotations, they don't have any defensive liabilities on the court at all. Celtics have no defensive liabilities. Knicks have no defensive liabilities.
The Nuggets' 2 stars are both liabilities.
Exactly.
At the two most critical position.
Exactly. Exactly. So, good win for OKC. What do you think Denver does this offseason? I'm on the extreme side. Just heads up.
I imagine add rotation players.
How many current Denver players do you think will be there next year?
I imagine MPJ is gone.
Mm-hmm.
Braun staying. I'd say a solid 7, 8 of the guys.
7 or 8? I'm going 3.
You think they're changing the team completely?
Yeah, I think it's time to blow it up. Me personally. Well, I'm telling you what I would do. I
Yeah.
should say what I think they'll do. What I think they'll do. I think they'll go one more year like this, like
Yeah.
with pretty much the same. But I think that this 1 year would be a wasted year if they do that.
I just think like it's not like they're far off, you know.
But are
They
they?
to me the difference has been Jokic is playing 40 minutes when he should be playing 35.
But are they not far off because the team isn't far off, or because Jokic is the MVP? Like
I
that's the
think
thing.
that
Like, oh,
I
good.
just think they're capable.
Yeah, and when I say blow it up, I don't mean they need to like rebuild, but I think that they easily could have a complete switch of guys. Like a can't remember who did that like recently, but I could easily see what. Go ahead.
It's tough to me. You go to a complete switch, you haven't done anything to like structure the roster around your star player weaknesses.
Right.
Since winning, you've kind of just like, all right, we won. Jokic and Jamal can just do whatever, like can push us through whatever.
Hmm.
Defense has gotten worse. Depth has
Hmm.
gotten worse. Coaching has gotten worse. Like you don't survive those things. I mean, you don't have Shaq and Kobe there.
Right. And the depth thing is tough because I don't know and the game just finished, so I didn't do any contractual research or salary research. So I don't really know what they can afford to do in free agency. But I don't imagine they have like a whole lot of money to like get 2 or 3 free agents that would help their depth. I'm thinking, okay, we trade Jamal and get 2 players instead of trying to get 2 in free agency, because I know Jamal and Jokic and Michael Porter Jr. and Aaron Gordon all make a lot of money.
Yeah.
I think Strother stays. I think Brown stays. I think Jokic stays. I think everyone else is somewhat on the block. I think Gordon is probably the closest one that would stay, but he's very injury prone. He's been hurt both of the last 2 years when they needed him to be healthy. Uh, but I think Murray might be their Murray and Porter Jr. is probably their best trade package they could put together. But I don't know. I think I'm afraid they do it too late, is all I'm saying. They go one more year and they try to do it next year. Like, you never know what's going to happen. Murray is healthy this year. Porter Jr. is relatively healthy. I don't know. They said he was playing hurt, but I think you got those 2 guys, since they're your best trade pieces. Do you want to wait until another year where they might be hurt, knowing that they get hurt just spontaneously?
I
Probably the
mean,
most spontaneous.
it's obviously a risk. But
Yeah.
again, to me, they're close. It's not like they're in these playoff series like out of reach, nowhere near, just completely getting blown out. They're getting to the final game. They're in position to close some of these games. The problem is they have no rotation.
They lost by 32.
Bro, they don't have a big for Jokic, like at all.
Yeah, that's true.
Like, we can't get a big that can play 5 minutes? I'll be honest with you. And this is a guy I hate. Brooke Lopez can't come out there for like 7 minutes? Just for a breather. That's all I'm asking.
Yeah, I get it.
I mean, bro, Caruso is making him work. Within like 5 plays of Caruso making him work, he's panting.
Yeah.
Like it's the same blue. Minnesota did the exact same thing last year.
The problem is, while that was happening, they had no one that could hit an open 3 to save their life, except for Brown. And he's really not a 3-point shooter. He was just hitting some today.
Yeah. And this is where, like, if you really give Jokic legitimate breaks, you could actually commit to playing through Jamal in that time. You could actually play through Aaron Gordon a little bit more.
I agree.
Do something to get Michael Porter Jr. a good shot.
Yeah. I would like to see them run it back with another piece. I really think Chris Middleton, who will be available in the offseason, is a perfect fit for them. I think, like you said, Brooke Lopez probably is a good fit as a big
Another
that
guy I
could come
don't
in and
like.
do.
I don't know if he'll be available, but Bogdanovich
Yeah, he's a good one. Which one? Either
on
one
the
really. But
Clippers.
yeah, he probably is good for them. Yeah,
I know the
yeah.
Clippers not going to be pressed to bring him back.
I hope they probably will though. They do
I
weird
wouldn't be
stuff.
surprised.
Yeah, but we'll see. We'll see. They definitely need depth changes, but I think that they're kind of well. I don't know Adelman's mentality. Malone was really committed to the short rotation. That was kind of their culture.
But it just doesn't work. Like Jamal's number one in minutes. Jokic is like fourth or fifth. Jamal's another guy. He like literally doesn't have a sub for him,
Yeah,
and it's
they
just
were
like
better at
that
Monty
doesn't
Morris. Like
work.
Monty Morris was a good sub. That just tells you like it really doesn't have to be anybody spectacular.
Yeah, all most of the guys that left aren't doing shit in other places.
I forgot Bruce Brown was even still in the league.
Bro, Bruce Brown's fall off was lightning quick.
He took that bag, man.
KCP couldn't get shit to go in the first round series.
Yeah, but they did. But that's the thing. The problem is they can't pay those people. So
That's true.
that's why I'm really not sure about the free agency thing. Like them getting depth in free agency, I'm really not sure that's a thing because you can't pay KCP, bro. Like you can't. I think Bruce Brown only took like 11 million from the Pacers. They didn't
Yeah.
have 11 million.
No, it's guys that are leaving for reasonable contracts.
Yeah, so if you can't afford Bruce Brown, I don't know what you're like. What are you doing in the offseason? In free agency? I don't know what you're looking for.
I
I
mean,
mean,
they're
unless
gonna
you're
have
going
to.
like PJ
It's
Tucker.
interesting to see. I'm curious what they're gonna do with no real like draft capital, as far as I could tell.
And to your point, they got to pay Brown if they want him. He played fantastic. I mean, they'll get him on the rookie. Like it won't count for the cap, I guess.
One
But
more year, I think.
yeah, on the extension. Yeah, so I mean, they're getting to that point. Like, look, I don't know if the contracts are going to add up. Like what they can do with free agents.
To be
Again, I
honest,
didn't research this, listeners.
I really think they're gonna run it back and look to add a guy.
Yeah.
And it's not like it's not gonna excite anyone.
Yeah.
But when you're losing like this close, again, game 7 aside, but like OKC's way younger. Every game you lost was like this practically.
Yeah. Yep. All right. Let's go back to the East. Knicks pulled it out.
Yes.
Finally. Game 6.
New
Knicks
York.
and 6.
New York is happy right now.
Go New York! Go New York! Go!
Oh,
I love
man.
it. I love it. Listen, Jason Tatum, a full year. A full year. Now he did save himself recovery time by getting his Achilles surgery done the very next day. If he waited too long, the swelling in your Achilles would probably cause you to take at least like 2 more months of recovery if he had waited another day. So luckily he got it done right away before there was swelling around the area. The surgery was very easy for the doctors. I mean, easy for a doctor, but yeah, it's tough. What do you think? What do you think about Boston next year?
That was actually like a very impressive thing. I don't know how they scheduled that or figured that out. But it was normally you don't see guys right off of major injury getting surgery that quick.
Yeah, normally you don't. Luckily, New York and Boston are so close to each other.
Yeah.
But it was in Boston anyway, right? Wasn't it the game
Yes.
before? Yeah. So yeah, so it was.
No, actually, it was New York.
I was in New York, right?
Yeah.
But New York and Boston are close enough. That's very quick. I mean, That's a night drive. So got it done quick. They figured it out right away that it was Achilles. They went in there, got it done. So Boston is at a crossroads next year because contractually it would be pretty tough to keep all these players, and they just sold the team. So chances are the team doesn't. People who just bought the team don't want to pay more for the team than they just even bought it for, which is what they would have to do going into next season to keep everybody. This Tatum injury takes away a lot of flexibility for them in the offseason, I feel like. Not that I don't think they were planning on splitting up the Jays anyway, but if they were, Tatum being hurt makes him almost impossible to trade because who's going to take someone off an Achilles injury? Also,
Yeah.
Tatum being hurt makes Jaylen Brown pretty tough to trade because Boston doesn't know how he's going to come back from an Achilles injury. So you trade your only safety net, which would be Jaylen Brown, just in case Jason Tatum doesn't come back. How, some guys never come back, like don't come back at all from Achilles injuries. So you can't trade Jaylen Brown and not know what Jason Tatum's going to come back as. So kind of puts them in a bind, which leaves all the role players that were, not overpaid, but getting paid like good money for their. None of them were underpaid, is what I mean.
Yeah.
So we got Derek White, Drew Holiday, and Porzingis. Al Horford's contract, they won't have to worry about if Al Horford even comes back. He's like 40.
What's kind of your instinct for the offseason for them?
I think Porzingis is probably the easiest out. He's been hurt ever since you got him. I mean, he finished the finals last year, but he was hurt like the month prior to that. He was sick coming into this game, this series. He's someone who really hasn't played a full season since he left New York.
Yeah.
So I think he's probably the odd one out, and I think he'll be really desirable, especially since he's contributed when he's healthy very well for Boston. So I think he's the odd one out. I think the other guys, they'll really work hard to keep. I don't know what they would do to upgrade that or what they would do to, I mean, you mentioned Brook Lopez, but I think somebody like that probably is like the poor man's Porzingis anyway.
To be honest, like Boston has depth sitting there that doesn't play.
They do.
They
picked Torrey Craig up, and he never got in the game.
Torrey Craig, what's his name? Tillman, I didn't really need him.
Very good backup.
The big man, the real big guy, they gave like minutes toward the end of this season.
Kata?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
I'll be honest, like, I mean, it's a tough spot to kind of have your future decided by an injury like that.
Mm-hmm.
But now Boston could kind of just run it back and see what happens.
They could.
Because to me, like, all the haters have been saying this team is just as good without Tatum.
Yeah.
The fact, I wouldn't assume they're falling off playing a season without Tatum.
No, I don't think so either. Not much.
They're not a favorite, obviously, but
yeah,
I think watching them over the course of the season, they could change our minds.
Mm-hmm.
It could give Jaylen Brown a vicious year to really emerge.
Yeah.
And again, they're role players like Porzingis and Drew, I'd be flexible with if possible.
Mm-hmm.
But with Tatum getting hurt like this, like you're kind of stuck, for better or worse.
You are. Yeah, I think Drew and Porzingis are the two that if they lose, I don't think hurts them that much because I do think there's cheaper replacements for them for what they did on this team.
We've already seen their depth fill their absence.
Yeah, we have. Yeah, yep. I mean, we've seen them play without Porzingis half the season.
They went through the playoffs last year without him.
Exactly. So, and their shot distribution is just way different. I won't say it's better, but it's way different without Tatum. Everyone gets more shots. They move the ball more. Jaylen Brown has more room. White looks like an all-star when Tatum isn't there. Uh, yeah, I mean, I like how they play without him. I'm not saying they're better. I do think they look like I'll say they look like a better team just because everyone else shines more. But I won't say that they're not more dangerous, obviously. But I do think that oh wow,
Their
like Derek
offense
White
looks
looks
more
better, and
steady.
it does, yeah, yep. And all the players shine a little bit more.
Because you're already at the point where you've committed to Tatum and Brown. There's
Yeah,
no mystery, if like who we're keeping, who we are
yeah,
committed to for the future. So I'd trust Tatum to get back.
yeah. The only thing would be whether Brown makes a decision to leave. Like that would be the only way they would. Like you said, the team is committed to it. The only odd The only wild card is if Brown makes a decision to leave because knowing his next contract probably won't be what he wants it to be if he wants to stay on the team. Like if the team
Yeah.
wants to stay together, his next contract probably won't be like that. So that might be something he looks at now and says, "Well, you know, this is my time to go." But if Brown chooses to stay, I'm completely with you. They run it back for the most part, and they lose Porzingis, and they just move on.
And this isn't like comparable scenarios. Milwaukee. I mean, it's kind of the same
Yeah,
situation.
yeah,
And you look at the Bucks like roster, and you just visualize yourself as Giannis. Like, there's no hope here. I'm putting up 40, 15, 10, and it's like not even really close. It's obvious I can't get. I need more.
yeah.
With Boston as a made roster,
Hmm.
established identity, the chemistry solid. You have enough. You got all these guys who've helped you over the course of the last couple seasons. Your organization is active at picking guys up.
Yeah,
So if they're playing well but not well enough next year, you know damn well they're going to find a guy like Torrey Craig.
yeah.
So I would run it back. I wouldn't even think about it, to be honest.
Yep, I agree. I agree. I take off the whoever I have to take off, and I keep the majority of the guys and just
Yeah.
do what you got to
I
do.
mean,
Yeah,
Pritchard just won sixth man. He'll be fine with more minutes next year.
absolutely. Yeah. If Drew is the odd man out and Pritchard has to move to more minutes, which would probably be the situation, yeah, so be it. Yeah, I think it would be fine too. Okay. Next. Oh, well, let's go to the Cavs. Cavs lost to the Indiana Pacers. What? Go ahead.
Did you want to talk about the Knicks though?
Let's wait. Let's wait till we
Okay.
preview the next round,
Okay.
the Eastern Conference Finals. Um, Cavs took an L to the Pacers. Another year,
This really hurt.
the Cavs cannot make a full 3 rounds healthy, full 2 rounds healthy. Because they basically gave these first 2 games away being injured with multiple starters, their best bench player all injured. Donovan had to average 40 and he just couldn't do it by himself. The last game, apparently fully healthy. Garland was still clearly hobbled, but he played, so he's healthy. Indiana just looked more aggressive. They looked more energetic. They looked more ready to play. They looked like they wanted it more. And they came out and just punched them right in the face. Just straight up punched in the face, bro.
That's what kills me, bro. Like the Denver series, okay, you get cooked this last game, but the series was really close.
It was, yeah.
You walk away from that like, if Aaron Gordon doesn't hurt his hamstring, we got this.
Yeah.
This was an ass whooping. Like this was a series long ass whooping.
It was.
The fact that you had control of almost every game and you couldn't win a home game. The first 2 especially were in your hands and you just let them go.
The second one 100% was.
Because the second one was unforgivable.
Yeah, because they had that in the fourth quarter. The first game they had it like a little bit in the first half, but then second half they blew it like the whole second half. This one, fourth quarter alone, they lost in second game too.
And like the role player production here was like the difference was disturbing.
It was.
As somebody was bought into Cleveland, loved the chemistry, who thought they somehow got better with getting Hunter.
Yeah.
I mean, Indiana just like obliterated them.
Mm-hmm.
They ran on them the whole series. They got in the paint the whole series. They matched up better the whole series. They're more athletic at every position.
Yeah.
Even TJ McConnell is blowing by everyone.
He was.
So this is where it's like, I'm really concerned. You can't just run this back.
Okay.
You got killed.
Uh-huh.
I mean, what are you're gonna trust your health next year? No way.
Right.
Not with this group. There's no shot.
Right.
I mean, Darius Garland has to be a goner if you're serious about running it back.
Mm-hmm.
Like Evan Mobley, there has to be a conversation there. It's like, it's time to be the number 2 or 3. We can't just be a part of the offense.
Mm-hmm.
There needs to be a decision for Donovan whether we're playing the 1, we're playing the 2. We're like mixing up both.
Yeah.
It's killing the depth in every playoff run.
Yeah.
Donovan, Tyler, his whole career, he's in round 2 every year.
Yeah.
Like there's a pattern there. There's something there to how he's playing and how his teams they fall apart every time.
You blame that on him?
No,
okay.
I'm saying the structure is like
it's
always Donovan rescue, Donovan rescue, Donovan rescue. It doesn't work. Ty Jerome had 5 disgusting games.
Yeah.
I mean, Hunter really didn't play well at all.
No, he didn't have a single like really good game. No, no one else on the team. Mobley had one good game. No one else on the team had any good games to me.
But Mobley played like stat well.
Right.
Where it was like, all right, you scored, but it's like, why are you not scoring more? Why are you not more aggressive? Why are you not getting the ball more? You're getting a block, and then we're giving up a 15-0 run. Like, what's happening?
Yeah.
That to me, it's like watching these games, I really had to question how dependent were the Cavs on their own chemistry.
Mm-hmm.
Indiana doesn't have to play well together.
No, they don't.
OKC doesn't have to play well together.
They have a lot of self-motivated guys.
Every team left, Wolves, Knicks, self-motivated.
Mm-hmm.
And
the Knicks have lifelong chemistry. Those guys, so they at least do have like a.
For sure.
If Brunson's not playing good, Bridges will get him up. Hart like runs their motor. Like it's a little bit different. But the other teams, especially OKC, I think, who like on paper is pretty comparable to the Cavs. You have your one hero player. You have your 2 bigs. All the other guys come in are just wings. They just try to take shots, try to take big shots.
Yeah.
All those guys are very self-motivated. They attack hard. They're all really athletic. That's the one thing in this series. The Cavs, they're really not athletic. They look athletic when everyone is running, when Garland is going full speed, and everyone is playing good. But when they're not playing good, they do not look athletic at all. Dean Wade was not able to play in this series, really. Ty Jerome was just didn't have it. Everyone that played against him on defense just was more aggressive. They were faster. They were stronger. They were bumping him off his path. He had to take weird floaters the whole time. Max Strus, who is like sneaky athletic, it just didn't work. He just couldn't get open. He couldn't get free. And he had some pretty decent games. But even in the decent games, when they needed him to score, like when it was a big moment, he just couldn't get a good shot off. He couldn't make a good pass. They just didn't have the other skills that they needed. There was a lot of specialists. And I don't even think OKC would say their guys are specialists. The guys that come off the bench, Jason Wallace, Wiggins, and Isaiah Joe, those guys do a lot of things. They can bring it up court. They don't get the ball stolen from them. They get steals. They run the floor. And the Cavs
Great
just proved
defense.
that. Yeah, and the Cavs just proved that their bench guys come in and still need their starters to still kind of force feed them, and it just wasn't enough because one, because they didn't have all their starters every game, and two, because their starters are really just inconsistent. Other than Donovan, he was the only consistent starter in this series for them.
Yeah.
And he has been. He has been put on these weird teams where they're kind of to your point, they aren't structured well. This team wasn't even. This team was, I would say, was an accident. I mean, like even last year, we mentioned on the pod that they just didn't know how good they were. They didn't know they were that good, like to get that far.
Yeah.
So they were never structured to get that far. I think that even Garland was kind of a lucky pick. I mean, you're drafting a 5'10", 5'11" guard who didn't even play his full year of college. That
Yeah.
was a lucky pick. Lucky. And Jared Allen playing as good as he is, being like a defensive player of the year candidate, an all-star. And Mobley was probably, I thought, I'm on record saying I would have picked Mobley first in that draft because I liked his potential. And I would say it's going a little bit slower than they hoped, but he was even a pretty wild pick to some. He was a potential pick. He wasn't like ready. I wouldn't
Yeah.
say he was NBA ready at the
Project
moment.
pick.
Yeah, he was. Yeah, Jalen Green and Cade were the obvious two that were like immediately going to be good in the NBA, but Mobley was the one that was a project pick. Mobley and Kuminga were the two project picks. So, yeah, they have a lot of commitment issues. Do they commit to, if they commit to Donovan for real, they have to build the team to what Donovan needs. Because looking at this playoff run and the last playoff run, that really is all that matters on this roster. Donovan is really the only one that really, really, really matters for their games. And you
Yeah.
got to figure out how you build around him. All the other teams do it. OKC completely is just built around how SGA plays, like solely. Denver is pretty much just built around what Jokic needs. And Donovan has never had that luxury to him. Utah was just some guys. I mean, like the team that Utah had that has since broken up. Gobert and Conley are the only ones still starting, and
Yeah.
Conley's barely. So is Royce, and Royce O'Neal's like barely playing for Phoenix most of the time.
He's hanging around.
And who played the four for that team? I don't even remember.
It's Bogdanovich for a little bit. The other one,
Is he still in the league?
I don't think so.
So this is where we are with Donovan's career. So it's kind of tough. They definitely do have to make some changes. I'm with you, Garland. Look, if you can't finish a season healthy, it's just tough. I have no. I mean, I do have sympathy, but as a GM, you can't.
I don't see the potential. Like, what's the like with Mobley? He just won a Defensive Player of the Year. Like maybe it was a little, obviously Wemby should have had it, but he still was in the top like 3, 4.
He should have finished third.
There's still an upside to him being so impactful on both ends that it's like it's an obvious choice to trust his development.
It is. I agree.
With Garland, it's like again, Donovan is playing the combo most of the time. So why the fuck is Garland there?
Yeah. And the games they look the best are the games when Donovan has like 10 assists, 8 assists. Like oh wow, Cavs are unstoppable.
Nebhard matches whatever upside Garland has. They have Mathurin matches Donovan's athleticism. Tyrese is 6'8". They have literally no answer for him. Miles Turner is looking unstoppable from everywhere. No answer for Siakam, who's getting every mismatch. And then it's every role player is more impactful.
Without, not including Sam Merrill, who's like, I'm just not including him. If you ranked the shooters in that series, how would you rank them? From both teams, who are the best shooters? Who's number one?
I would say Miles Turner probably.
Turner outshoots Strus?
For the series, no.
No, but I mean, like in general. In general, like who? If you needed a three to win the game, rank who you would pick. And like Donovan, obviously for his clutch, but not. I mean, like really shooting. Let's say you needed
I'd
five
pick
threes. Who can
Struz
make five threes
first.
in a row? Strus first. Okay.
Struz, Dean Wade, again on paper.
You pick. See, I'd take Turner over Dean Wade. I would, but
But that's the thing. I trust Siakam.
yeah,
I trust Naismith.
yeah. That's
I
my point. Like, out of if you pick 10, I would say 7 of them would be Pacers. Like the top 10 shooters, I'd probably say 7 of them would be Pacers.
To be honest, maybe there's like something to be said for Indiana just being a horrible matchup for Cleveland. Because
There is,
think
yeah.
about, they needed shooting. They needed shooting, right? None of the shooters could give them anything consistent. They got rid of their most consistent shooter. Like if Niang played in this series, he would have hit shots.
LeVert too.
And they needed
If
buckets from somebody besides Donovan. They
if they had
traded the
LeVert,
one guy who was doing that.
they had LeVert in the first 2 games, they win both games.
Yes,
Yeah,
absolutely.
Just trade LeVert for Hunter back and Niang, they win both those games. To me, so I think that it was a bad matchup, but it was a particularly bad matchup to have someone hurt in. I don't think
Yeah.
any. Let me be honest. I don't think any team in the league can beat the Pacers if you're missing 2 starters. Nobody. The Celtics, the Knicks, the Thunder. I don't think anyone can beat the Pacers missing 2 starters. And the Cavs almost did it just because Donovan had 50 in the second game. But like normally, I don't think anyone could do that. So I do think that was tough. Those first 2 games were really, really tough. But the rest of the games, I don't have any excuse for them the rest of the games. It still shouldn't have been 4-1. It should have at least went to 6 games.
You have to find like a genuine winner to add to the rotation. And I'm not talking about no Tristan Thompson who's sitting there giving out bullshit advice. I don't give a shit about his advice.
Yeah.
Like maybe I'm just having just watched what Caruso did for the Thunder.
Yeah.
Like somebody to really set a competitive tone.
Caruso won a championship with the Lakers.
Yeah.
Siakam won a championship with the Raptors.
Yes.
They have no championship experience on the Cavs, right? No finals experience.
None. I don't want to skip one of their. I mean, besides Tristan Thompson,
who never got in the game.
Yeah,
like,
who gives a shit about his experience?
Yeah, he doesn't count. Yeah, that's tough. It was a team with a lot of experience. Who has only Halliburton has Team USA experience, right?
Yes, and that's the thing. Indy has like a competitive fire that Cleveland couldn't match. Maybe it could be athleticism. That could be the primary problem.
Yeah, it was a big problem.
Like when it's on the scouting report that Obi Toppin is going to run, and he's leaking out for fucking layups the whole series. TJ McConnell's not spacing the floor, and he's getting in the paint the whole series.
When we previewed this series, I told you right away, Obi Toppin is going to destroy this team. He's the one. I knew he was going to hurt them, and he didn't hurt them as bad as I thought he would because they really didn't need him in the first few games. But the last game, when they had everyone back, Toppin just was, like I said, he was like prime Dr. J in that game. He was going to the basket, hitting crazy shots, dunking on everybody.
Thomas Bryant is a real big man that you're subbing in. You sneaking in Dean Wade at the 4 is not a big man. Like Siakam is still there. What are you doing? That shit, bro. Like Siakam was cooking guards this whole series, and it's like you fundamentally have a problem if you can't match up with a team to keep you big to big.
Yep.
Siakam is like a legit forward. He's gonna kill your guards every time.
Yeah.
Just like Halliburton's going to kill your fucking backup guards.
Was Neesmith on the Celtics when they went to the finals against the Warriors?
I can't remember.
I feel like he was. I want to say he has finals experience, but I'm not sure. I'm sorry, listeners, for not
The
knowing
guy is
Neesmith's.
self-motivated. Indiana could be
Yeah,
down 20 and he'll dunk on somebody. He'll pin somebody. Like, he'll pick up full court. I don't see
tap
that
dunk.
from the
Yeah,
Cleveland guys. Like, Niang was like that. Niang was
yeah,
not good, but he was really competitive.
yeah.
I didn't see that from
He played
Hunter, you
great for
know?
Atlanta, by the way.
In that playing game, he was right there.
Hunter turned right back into the guy we hated on Atlanta, like immediately.
Yes, just doing random shit.
Yeah, and not doing any of it particularly well. Hey, at least Hunter and Jerome have NCAA championship experience.
Bro,
Hey,
Jerome had a bad series. Oh my God.
yeah, that was a very I guess not winning the 6-man ruined his entire game. Like
He was playing
seriously,
like he was trying to prove something.
yeah, but he was last series he was fine.
He
They
was.
announced 6-man. Ever since then he was garbage.
Yeah,
I'm not a Ty Jerome fan. No disrespect, Ty Jerome, if you ever hear this, but I don't know. It was tough. It was a tough one. And then Strus,
Strus is worse.
the quote of the year. I don't even.
Bro, that was a Grant Williams level quote right there.
Listeners, go look up what Max Strus said before Game 5. I'm not gonna pull it up. Go check it out. Yeah, they had a rough game. All right, let's preview. Oh, you want to talk about Warriors? Warriors lost to Minnesota.
Yes.
You want to talk about it?
Yes. That's
Okay.
another injury, unfortunate injury situation.
You know, let me say this before we go too far. I'm completely anti making the league, making the season shorter because of injuries. Like I personally am super anti the less. Have you ever heard this conversation so far?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm completely anti making the season shorter. What I am for is I hate the. I'm on record already saying I hate the game requirement for awards. I think it's dumb. I think that's uh, I think the voters should be offended that the league doesn't trust them to vote the right decision because of the games.
I see what you mean, yeah.
Like who would say, "Oh, he only played 30 games. I'm still going to vote for him." Who would do that? No one does that. So I mean, just take the requirement out. Like if I drop 70 a game for 51 games, I don't make the 55 requirement. I'm still probably the MVP. Like it's if people vote it that way, like let them vote how they should vote. So I think that the players have so much pressure to play every game. One, because of their stats, I understand, but worry about your health, not your stats. And then the fact that they can't win awards, they can't be All NBA, they can't be All Stars because they don't play every 90% of the games. I think I'm completely against that rule. So you take that rule out and you let players choose a little bit when they want to play. I think players should try to play most of the away games if they can. I get it. They obviously can't every time. I don't want anyone pulling a Kawhi level of game management. But I don't think players should feel pressured to play 75 out of 82 games. I think that's tough. Because with the Steph injury, with all these injuries, the Tatum injury, everyone's talking about, oh, they played too many games. This conversation comes up every time someone has an injury in the playoffs, by the way. It comes up about, hey, they played too many games. These guys going too much wear and tear. They don't get a break before the playoffs. All this stuff. Me personally, I think they should stick to the 82, but I think players should just try to play games that they feel like they need to play. I'm not big on obviously it doesn't have to get extreme. Like I said, I don't want people pulling Kawhi's. Oh, I played 25 games, and then playoffs I play like MJ.
Yeah. Pay me. I'm a superstar.
I think your pay should reflect the games you play, but I don't think the league should mandate the games you play for the sake of your league accolades. I think that sucks. I think that actually hurts the players more than the league being a long season. Guys have been playing 82 games for years. Jordan played 82 games
Yeah.
and was still dropping 50s in the playoffs. Kobe played 82 games and was still dropping 40s, 30s in the playoffs. Like, what are we talking about? Tim Duncan played 82 games.
Bro, I really playoff injuries don't make me think that the season's too long. It's so weird to me that I have been hearing this.
It's a big conversation right now.
And it's like playoff injuries haven't like been a parallel to me that the season is too long.
Yeah.
I just that's weird to me. If anything, the problem with the conversation around the season being too long to me is just how like it lacks a certain competitive fire game to game.
Yeah. It gets mundane.
Yeah,
For the
and guys
players.
are taking the Friday night like Portland game not the same as the Saturday, the prime time like the Celtics matchup, something like that.
Yeah. Now, oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
No, I was going to say, even though I think load management is okay, I do think players should like pre-schedule their load management. I don't think you should wake up one morning and be like, "Oh, I'm not playing tonight." I think that's wrong for all the fans. Like to make it fair for the fans, you should know what games you're not going to play. Like if they were to do that, where they don't they take away the limit thing, and then players said, "Hey, we're only going to play 65 games out of the 82 or whatever," right? If that was to happen, they should have laid out which games they're going to play and which ones they're not. Because that ruins the whole fan experience when you're like, "Oh, I'm going to the game to see Steph," and then stuff say,
Yeah.
"Oh, today game time decision, Steph isn't playing." I think that's wrong.
That's why it's tough to find a balance to me.
Is I mean, and the NFL is making strides towards the 18 games. They only can play 16. I like that. I mean, they proposed that last year. I don't know if they're actually going to do that, but you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Raising the games, but the players can only play 15 out of them or 16 out of them. I love that. I love that idea. I think that's something the NBA they probably will implement something like that because they are really progressive. But if you worry about wear and tear, I think the answer is the fact that you make them play a certain amount of games in the first place, which is counterintuitive to you worrying about their wear and tear. So
Yeah, man. I just think it was bad luck for Steph.
it was. It definitely was.
Same as Tatum, it just kind of like sometimes those things just happen
Tatum
off of a random kind of bad like movement.
Tatum was really upset about this. That was really sad how upset. I mean, it's sad it happened, but his reaction to it, I understood his pain for sure.
Yeah, and it's tougher for Steph because he's got a few years left at most. Tatum he's still young somehow, even though it feels like he's been in the league forever.
And they were in the series. I mean, like, if Steph plays, we don't know who wins the series.
But we got to watch the Warriors without Steph.
Yes.
And
waxed.
I mean, this didn't surprise me.
No.
I guess we'll talk about the Wolves in the preview more. Shout out to Randle though. Randle was great.
Yep.
But I hate how the conversation as soon as Steph went down, because it was right away they were talking about like 6-7, he could be back.
Yeah.
It was like one game, but like from what we just saw, they could do it. All you need is a leader. All you need is a guy to set the tone. All you need is a playoff performer.
Yeah.
And who did they acquire at the deadline?
Playoff Jimmy.
Playoff Jimmy. Oh, with the Bay Area collectively begging Jimmy Butler, Jimmy, we need a game. We need just one.
This one vintage game.
We got to watch Jimmy Butler swing the ball to Jonathan Kuminga
And Brandon Pajemski.
and Brandon Podziemski. Shout out to them, by the way. They closed the series great.
Especially Kuminga.
And he needed some sign of life. I mean, I've been super negative about him. He looked awful.
He did.
Like, just his energy was great. I didn't even care that he shot well and he actually, like, scored.
Yeah.
But Jimmy
Pajemski
Butler
was
was
good
just
the
a
whole
waste
series.
of time.
Pajemski was pretty good the whole series. I think he had one or two games, but like there are games where the good games he was playing better than himself. You know, like people are like, oh, he had 2 bad games. Like, no, he should only have 9-10 points. That's like what he averages. He's not a 28-point guy. That's a good game, not a okay game for him. Yeah. So he did play really good.
That's why, to me, like, I was frustrated watching these games because you could just tell with Jimmy, he doesn't waste time. I'll give him credit. You know right away with Jimmy if he's gonna be engaged in the game or if he doesn't give a fuck.
Yeah.
And it's just like, bro, you're just swinging the ball. Like, that's so great. If Anthony Edwards was swinging the ball, they'd have gone 7 and probably lost.
This was one thing I was worried about with Jimmy coming to this team. Such an unselfish team. It's a very dangerous place for Jimmy to just disappear into the offense.
Into the depth.
Yeah.
And that's what he did with Miami all the time.
Right. He was doing, we could just swing it. We don't have to take any shots. Just keep passing it. Oh, perfect. I'm perfect. I'm right at home here. I don't want to take shots. 11 shots in the last game. Same shots as Draymond.
Buddy Hield took more.
Draymond took more threes. Not that Jimmy is like a 3-point shooter, but
that's why it's like you saw it from Draymond. Steph goes down, and the rest of the series, Draymond was significantly more aggressive with his own shot.
He was, and that's usually how they win in the playoffs. When Draymond's aggressive in the playoffs, the Warriors are dangerous.
All their guys tried. Well, all their guys that were capable tried, and Jimmy's just like, I'm here with you guys, just swinging it to y'all.
Yeah,
it was just killing me because the Wolves are like establishing themselves exclusively through their 2 stars.
Jimmy took 9 shots in game 4.
That makes you want to cry.
9.
Like, you can't tell me you going into that game, yeah, Jimmy's going to take 9 shots. Are we going to have a chance? Fuck no.
Right.
Jaden McDaniels is going to shoot more. Like, what are we doing?
He took 1 3 in that game. 1 3.
That's what, like, Steph talking about he's excited to run it back. Really?
They can't run it back. I think they can keep most of the guys, but some of these guys, really let them down. All their big men were pretty atrocious in this whole series. Don't get me wrong, Rudy Gobert, 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. I'm not expecting the big men to I'm not expecting Trace Jackson Davis to come give Gobert 20. No one is expecting that. But you get to the line one time. Can you be a little more aggressive?
Who are you talking about?
Trace Jackson Davis.
Oh, why? He sucks.
No, I'm talking about the whole team. That I'm talking about Steph saying run it back. I'm saying these guys cannot, you can't keep these guys and say we're running it back when you have Trace Jackson Davis and Looney are your 2 best bigs going into a series. That's all I'm saying. I'm bringing them up because what are we running them back for? What are we running Trace Jackson Davis back for?
There's no reason. Looney is 50. Let Looney be a championship veteran on the bench, all right?
Yeah. Moody played himself out of the series, He basically played himself off the team as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, he was fucking
Uh,
awful.
yeah, and like Gary Payton II, I like, but he like if Steph's not there, he shouldn't play. Like he should
He's
only
not a
play.
big man. They keep
No,
trying
no,
to play him as like a 4-5. It's like I don't
yeah,
care that he's an inside presence. What do I care,
yeah. Like we can't run Gary Payton II.
bro?
Like he only looks good with Steph. Without Steph, he looks just crazy.
Yeah, just random. Like it's just guys doing random shit. And it's the same theme as Denver. To be honest, Golden State and Denver both don't deserve a championship run because they've been disrespecting depth for years.
Yeah.
Since both teams have won in recent years and they've been complacent with their depth.
Well, that comes with I don't what I'm gonna try to avoid saying overpaying. That comes with paying guys a lot of money. Like the Warriors pay their players a lot of money,
Yeah.
rightfully so in most cases. But because of that, you have to get Guy Santos. No disrespect. You have to get Quentin Post and Moses Moody. Like these have to be your rotation guys. Like what are we doing?
It's not good enough.
I hope I never.
Bro,
I'm not
like
gonna be mean to the
Green.
guys.
Draymond Green comes out the game and it's Quentin Post is the next man up. This is what I mean when it's like as a coach you're sitting there similar to Denver. Like Jokic is just not coming out. Draymond's just not coming out.
Yeah.
Problem is Draymond is too aggressive. Draymond hacks, so he has to come out.
Yeah, he's gonna get a flagrant. He's gonna get 4 fouls. He has to come out. I mean, listen to their bench. This is the bench they have after their first 7, and we know this already. Everyone knows this, but just if you hear it out loud, it sounds different. Moses Moody, Braxton Key, Pat Spencer, who I like, Kevin Knox II, Guy Santos, Quentin Post, and Jonathan Kuminga. This is what you're running it back like with this.
We just talked about Boston running it back specifically because we like what they have on the back end of their bench.
Yeah.
And whatever problems they might have, like we have some faith that they have enough depth to adjust.
I would immediately trade anyone I just named for Xavier Tillman, like immediately.
Like wouldn't even think about it. It wouldn't be a
Torrey
thought.
Craig.
Yes,
Torrey
right
Craig,
away.
right.
Let's get it done.
Yeah, the quickness. I would trade 3 of these guys for Toppin from the Pacers. Like, and Toppin's he's 8th man for the Pacers.
8 or 9. Thomas Bryant is like the last one, and I'd take him in a heartbeat.
Yeah, I'd trade 1 for 1 for Thomas Bryant for sure. But Toppin, I'd give him any 3 guys off the bench they want. Any of them they could have for Toppin. Yeah, it's rough. It's rough, man.
And I honestly think like the NBA season is becoming more and more like a war of attrition where you're trying to make it through to your point where it's kind of too long.
Yeah.
And depth becomes so critical.
Yeah.
Denver and Golden State have just like shrugged their shoulders. Like, oh, Steph is fucking awesome. We're all right. Jokic and Jamal are fucking awesome. We're all right. And you're seeing the result.
I think one issue is because the season is long, you do need young depth, which I do understand the Warriors' thought process. Moody, Podziemski, you guys have to carry us through the season because Steph just can't do that for 88 games, 82 games. Like it's just not viable for 3 30-year-olds to carry 35.
That was my concern the second half of the season.
Right. And the teams like Boston their main players are all young. I mean, Horford is the only guy who's really old on the team. OKC, all their bench guys are young, so they can manage to do that every night. But the Warriors, I understand the thought process of having these young guys, but maybe you do make a decision and you say, well, we need a young, like we need a young good player, like a young starter out here. Like that's where the Jalen Green guys like that, where you say, well,
Yeah.
is that worth taking the chance to get some youth that actually can carry us for multiple games? I mean, multiple seasons, because at this point, is Steph can do it for a few games here and there, but he just can't do it for 100 games. Like they basically played their 100th game.
And this was a trial run for Jimmy that you see that you can't trust him.
Jimmy will always be a Robin.
Always.
Like he's just not Batman. He just doesn't want to do it. Like he just straight up just does not want to do it.
Especially over multiple games.
Yeah. He's a lucky Robin. Like Robin has something on his utility belt that Batman forgot he had. There he is. That's his game. Like he saves the day every once in a while, but he's not Bruce. Not pulling any Bruce Wayne moves. So we'll see. The first decision, or the first player they have to get is who for you? First kind of player.
A big man.
Okay.
A big man makes Steph and Jimmy's game easier.
Yeah. I saw
I'm looking at all these playoff teams. They're getting their baseline guy layups and dunks, and it's usually somebody athletic or somebody skilled.
Listen, the West should be very afraid of the Mavericks. Like the Mavericks have three big men better than every big man on.
Yes.
Like legit, and they're about to draft a forward better than every forward on the Warriors. So it's tough. It's tough. Like
Wolves are big. Wolves are big. OKC's big.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jokic is gonna be in Denver still. Like Houston's got some size.
Yeah. Spurs are coming next year too.
Whew.
Like it's gonna get crazy. Yeah. All right. Let's preview the next rounds. Let's get through this. Let's stay in the West. Minnesota, OKC. Let's go with our prediction first. Who you got first, and then explain why.
Wolves in 6.
Okay. I have the same.
I go by what my question was in OKC, and what kind of made me question them more out of this series. I really don't visualize Shea and Jalen Williams controlling the games.
Okay.
It's going to happen once, a certain amount of times. But Ant and Julius Randle have been ramping it up as the playoffs are going.
Yeah. And they'll have 4 extra days of rest.
Beyond Caruso just did a good job on Jokic. You know who didn't do a good job on Jokic the whole series? Hartenstein. Chet.
Yep.
And that to me is Randall's going to be killing these guys.
Yeah.
You don't have a matchup for Ant. So on the games where he's aggressive and he's got the right mentality, he's going to eat you alive.
Mm-hmm.
And based on what I just saw from Shea, I just don't see the motor to go toe-to-toe and win 4 out of 7.
Yeah.
And that, to me, I think the star power for Minnesota, the dynamic duo that's emerging, I think it's just too overwhelming for OKC, I think.
Yeah. I agree. I think that the length on Minnesota can match the length on OKC. First of all, I think McDaniels and Gobert can stretch the floor, take up a lot of space, the OKC guys do. I think the depth on OKC might be interesting for them, but I think even though I'm not expecting big scoring numbers from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, and everyone knows I'm not a big fan of him, he comes and he plays hard. He's going to play really, really hard, and he's going to match those guys energy-wise. So I'm not really worried depth-wise because I just think it'll be just a bunch of guys that just can't guard Ant that'll just be coming in the game. I think they'll always have the best two mismatches on the floor. I don't think Shea is a mismatch for McDaniels or Ant. I think Ant's a mismatch for everybody on OKC. I just no one can guard him. His footwork, he's strong. His bounce is just different. No one can guard Randle on there. We already know Hartenstein played with Randle last year, and I'm sure Randle knows how to expose him more than Hartenstein knows how to guard him. And then I just think Gobert is going to dominate Chet. Like if that's the matchup, I think Gobert is just going to eat him alive. When I say dominate, I mean like he's not going to let him get rebounds. I think Gobert is going to block a lot of his shots. I don't think Gobert is afraid to go out and challenge his jump shot because I think in this series, I realized Chet really isn't that quick. Like he does try to do that pump fake and go by guys, but I don't think he can really do that to Rudy.
None of the Wolves bigs should fall for that like a lot.
Right. And I don't think either of those guys can guard Naz Reid, which not expecting Naz to like go crazy, but I just think he's a little bit too strong. He's a little bit too quick for both of them. And I think Conley's leadership and his ability to maintain the tempo of the game and control the tempo of the game is just going to slow down OKC. Now that I think he's going to I don't think it's going to happen that much, but I think there will be moments where OKC is like 3 straight, maybe 2 or 3 turnovers and gets a dunk. And I think Conley would just settle it down. They'll get a good shot. He just has too much experience. He's the most experienced guy in the series. So I just think I trust that experience a little bit. And he's someone who plays control all the time. And Denver just doesn't really have that. Jokic can bring the ball up court and he can do all the fun, fancy things, but he just doesn't have that. He doesn't really have the floor generalship that someone of Conley's style and his like how he's played his whole career is that. That is the one thing he does do well. So I think that'll show itself in this series. But basically, to what you said, I think Ant and Randle are just gonna, if they need a basket, they can just go get a basket whenever they want to. I also think if those guys get in foul trouble, I also think if any starters in OKC gets in foul trouble, they're in big trouble. I just don't think Denver had anyone to get them in foul trouble other than Jokic. But I think Dort, Jalen Williams, or SGA gets in any foul trouble, the game's basically over. Any one of them, to me.
Yeah. Again, like OKC, we just watched their front court kind of got played out of the series.
Yeah.
And the answer was play small with aggressive guards.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to work on Ant.
No.
Like the Caruso shit that worked on Jokic, it's only going to ramp up or rile up Ant even more.
Only going to rile up Randle, too. You going to put Caruso on Randle? With barbecue chicken.
That's the thing. Like, I can't really visualize you just lost faith in Jalen Williams, I guess because he couldn't guard Jokic. It's going to be the same situation here.
Yeah. And the switches, like they were okay with the switches. You can't, I mean, I know people dog Gobert. I know I'm like the only Gobert defender in all of podcasting. But you can't switch. Like you're not switching Case and Wallace to Gobert. Like
the Lakers had to learn that lesson the hard way.
Right, and Gobert may not hurt you on the passing, but when the shot goes up, Gobert's getting that rebound. If you switch it small onto him, Gobert's going to go get the rebound. Like Gobert, I like Gobert that he gets disrespected like mid-game. Like he feels the level of disrespect and then he responds to it immediately. That's one thing I do respect about him. Like he's like, you have Case and Wallace on me? All right, bet. And like he'll go get 15 rebounds. He'll try to block everything that comes in. Like he feels that. So I don't think they'll be able to do those switching games onto Gobert. I don't think he's having that.
Yeah. I do think one X factor will be the Wolves' inept offense.
Yeah.
So like they will give OKC opportunities to run.
Yeah.
And that worries me.
Mm-hmm.
But that will be like at that point when we come back, mid-series, we'll have a good sample size to see if it's going to be a real problem or not.
Yeah, that Minnesota takes a lot of long rebound shots, especially Ant. His rebounds are usually long rebounds, and when he drives, there's usually nobody back. So they probably will get some leak outs to guys. So I'm expecting Jalen Williams to get some fast breaks and stuff like that. But again, I think I trust Conley and Ant to manage the game a little bit better than that. I think Chris Finch is the better coach in this. Not better coach, but I don't think he's like out coached in this series.
I
I'm
think
not a big diagonal.
he's more in tune with his guys,
He is, yeah. I'm
especially
not a
Ant.
big diagonal believer.
I'm with you. I see why they're kind of a one-trick ponies. Not that they're kind of formulaic, very predictable.
Did you watch Fresh Prince as a kid?
A little bit.
Fresh Prince's coach, when he played basketball, he put on the whiteboard, when we bring it up court, what do we do? And the answer was pass it to Will. And if anyone didn't say pass it to Will, he made him run laps. That's basically what OKC does to me. Give it to Shea. If you don't give it to Shea, all right, you're getting fined. I'm taking some of your pay. Just give it to Shea. That's really all they do. That's their offense. They have no other
it's just like basic drive and kick. Let's do it, guys. Just be aggressive.
Yeah, basic drive and kick, basic pick and roll. But at the end of the day, it's just whatever SGA does is really all they do. So I don't really see like a whole lot of strategy. To me, if you're last in the league in passes like you were last year, I don't know what coaching are you doing. That's like the one thing you can coach is how much your team moves the ball. Like that's the one impact coaches have. So yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'm hating, but being last in the year in the league in passing doesn't make you coach. It doesn't put anything to me on your coaching skills. But okay, so we both got Timberwolves in 6. Okay. Let's go to the East. Knicks and Pacers.
Rematch of last year.
Yeah.
Knicks coming in at full health this time.
Yes. Allegedly. Apparently.
I gotta be honest. Indian 5.
5?
Yeah.
Wow.
I know I've been the Knicks guy too. It hurts me to say.
5 is tough. I don't mind you picking Indy, but 5? You don't think Brunson can pull out 2 games?
I think this is the series that Indy certifies themselves because again, if it's been Indy basketball in all their playoff games the last 2 years. And I think Boston had enough talent to play Indy basketball better.
Mm-hmm.
New York does not. And New York playing slower is much better.
Uh-huh.
But again, I'm now in the second year. I've yet to see somebody slow down the Pacers.
Yeah.
They will force you to play up and down because they all their guys run. And Halliburton especially looks to run all the time.
Yeah.
And his confidence is at an all-time high.
Mm-hmm.
Like, bro, literally every one of their players is coming into this series like playing great, on fire, essentially.
Yeah.
Halliburton is great. Siakam has been cooking. All their role players, Naismith, they're sneaking in Shepherd to like actually fill out some time instead of just run around.
Yeah.
But describe to me how the Knicks could win this series, because I just don't see it.
I have the Knicks in 7. Have Knicks in 7. And part of it is a passion pick, of course. All right. I'll admit that. I'll start from there. I think the Knicks will have the 2 best players on the court. I think that's one thing to me. I think they'll have the 2 best players on the court. I think that the Knicks have I think they have the guys to match versus like the versatile players on the Pacers, like defensively. I think they have guys that they can move around and guard the Pacers straight up pretty well. And I don't know. I just think like player to player, I got the Knicks. I don't know what else to. I do think that the running gun is tough for them, but the few times that the Knicks got to go running gun against Boston, they look good. They get it done. Hart
Yeah.
and Bridges gets to that corner. Hart attacks. He kicks it out. It
Oh,
happens every
and
single
that's
time.
like that.
And
That's Indiana is fooling you into thinking that.
thinking
It,
what?
Cleveland was the same way, where it's like we're right there. We're playing
No,
just
no,
like
no, no.
we're.
I don't think Cleveland is good running. I've told you. I mean, we said that before the series. I thought they were going to get ran out the gym because they don't. I don't think they're like that. But
But the Knicks running and gunning is also limited.
it is. Yeah, they don't have anybody like streaking that's gonna like. They don't have
Again,
anybody like topping.
it's the same problem. I was the Cleveland series. I'm sitting there looking. How do we slow Indy down? And it's all we could play fast like this. We could play fast like that. We could match here, match. No, you're not matching. Your depth is not as good.
So you think you need depth to match the speed of the Pacers?
Yes. Now
I don't know about
there's a
that.
little bit of like developing depth on the Knicks. They are like a solid 8.
Yeah,
McBride, Robinson.
Robinson,
I'm
Shamit.
missing a. Shamit hasn't really been playing. I can't imagine he'll crack the rotation now. I feel like I'm missing one more. I mean, Precious has played some,
Yes, yeah, and he's played good.
but mostly because of foul trouble. But
Yeah,
he's still played well.
he did.
But again, the Pacers they they overwhelm you over the course of the series. Like they're gonna constantly have a great matchup for Brunson, 100% of the time, not 90, not 80, 100.
Okay.
They're constantly Cat's getting in foul trouble in a lot of these games because of the fact that they're playing like this.
But you think I think Cat is better playing like that than either of the Pacers bigs.
But he's also immature that you can't trust him.
That's facts.
So it's like, again, I want to believe in the Knicks winning the series.
Yeah.
But the Pacers have been establishing their identity for years, and the Knicks have just been relying on Brunson for the most part, relying on their role players, like just being really great.
Who has Pacers have home court?
Yes. No. No, Knicks, I believe.
Right. Knicks and Celtics were the 2-3, right?
Yeah. And
And
then
then it was
Pacers were
1-4.
4.
Okay. So who wins the first game?
Pacers.
Pacers. Okay.
I mean, I'm picking 5, bro. The Knicks are not. It's not going like the games are gonna be close because the Knicks can't. They're just too competitive.
Yeah.
But again, down the stretch, you've seen it with everybody except Boston. Indy is more imposing. Indy's role players have more confidence. Like
They do.
Halliburton has been incredibly clutch, and it's the rest of the guys who are like exponentially more confident.
I just don't think that those guys do that against the Knicks players. I just think the Knicks play. I think the issues that the Cavs had, like one of the biggest issues they had to me was toughness, where none of the guys are really tough. Like really, I mean, and even guys that they're just soft. And I don't mean that in like a derogatory way. I'm not challenging their manhood. I don't mean it in like a, I'm just saying as far as who they are, they're just not those guys. The Knicks aren't like that. Like Hart gets his face gashed open. He's still playing the rest of the game. Like that's the kind of guy he is. OG is not letting Neesmith like bully him around, or the Hunter and Mathurin situation. This is not happening. So I don't. I think the mentality of the Knicks is going to match or maybe even overpower the Pacers in some ways, mentality. But skill wise, I do think the Pacers are. I mean, they're obviously deeper, obviously. But I don't think that even with the depth, I think the Knicks have been playing how they've been playing all season with 7 guys max most nights. I think they'll be fine. I think they'll be ready for it.
Like, you trust Cat in this series over Siakam?
When you say
Who's
do I
gonna
trust
Who's
them,
gonna
like
give me 4 winning performances?
I don't. That's tough. That's a toss up for me.
To
It's a
me,
toss up.
you could. It's a toss up because of the skill level with a lot of the Knicks versus Pacers guys.
No.
But
It's a toss up to me because who's guarding? Are you saying Cat's going to guard Siakam or OG is?
well, it's gonna again with Indiana's depth being better. Siakam's quality of shots is gonna be easier.
I think that Cat has a better chance of exposing his matchup than exploiting his matchup than Siakam though. That's what I'll say. So who's going to have 4 better games? I'm not sure, but I would say Cat because I think there's less guys on Indiana that can guard Cat than there is guys on the Knicks who can guard Siakam. I think all the starters can guard Siakam, other than Brunson. I don't think
It's
anyone
fair.
on
I'm
the
not.
Pacers can guard Cat. Turner
I
kinda
want
can, but
somebody to explain to me how to slow them down. You're not beating them running with them. You're just not.
I don't think that's going to be how they beat them, but I just don't think that the Pacers will beat them half to death by running. Like I don't think the times where it does get like that, I don't think the Knicks are gonna have a major deficit. I mean, not every time. Sometimes they will. I got
It's
to go in
more
7,
so.
so I don't think the
It's more
Pacers are
so
gonna
playing
beat.
fast.
You don't think the Knicks can play slow, or you just don't think the Knicks can force Indiana to play slow?
I don't think they can force Indiana to play slow because it's like the Brunson Island. Again,
Yeah,
Indy's depth. They have countless matchups for that.
that's true.
Part of the reason Boston was so good was because even when they're running, taking too many shots and turning it over, they're matching up flawlessly every time.
They are. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. It's gonna be a fun series,
I am so excited.
even if it is 5. The arenas are both gonna be rocking. The
Dude,
fan
these
bases are gonna be
games,
going
man.
crazy. Yeah, it's gonna be fun. Uh, all right. We got anything else? Oh, you want to talk lottery at all?
We could save that for a little bit.
Okay, sounds good. I think that's it for today then. We will be back probably after 2 games, like
Yeah,
normal.
2 to 3 games.
2 to 3 games. Yep. And thank you for listening as always. Subscribe, follow us, all that good stuff, and we'll see you guys next time.